Hey guys, welcome to Honest Commentaries, the show where we talk about the other show that you hopefully just watched to hear about our thoughts, our cut jokes, our true feelings about it. And as I said before, if you stick around, you will see the things that got cut out of the episode for not being good enough. That's your prize for watching this video. I'm Spencer J. Gilbert, that's Joe Starr, that's Dan Murrell.
I just realized I was the only one wearing my headphones a second ago, so I took them off.
That's fine. It's all good.
I got really nervous. Yeah.
Don't worry about it. We all watched Blade. We made some jokes about it. I think this was your first time through, wasn't it?
I had not seen any of the Blades.
Yeah.
I was too young to see the first one when it came out, and so I never caught up to them. And so this is my first exposure to Blade.
What's your first fresh take, a Blade virgin?
It's good. I mean, the first movie's like pretty good, and then the second movie's like Guillermo del Toro, like really cool visuals and stuff, and then the third movie's not very good.
Yeah.
So, you know, I've certainly seen worse.
Yes.
I was curious because I have a little bit of like Blade nostalgia. Like I have Blade goggles a little bit, so it's hard to be too mean to them. So I was curious what you think.
I'd heard so much about Blade Trinity, about how just like awful it was, and I mean, I guess in comparison to the other two, like it's definitely not a good movie, but I wasn't like, this is terrible
but
garbage.
Rarely has a movie made so little out of so much.
That's true.
You have such an amazing collection of talent, like the best in show people are randomly in it.
That's true.
And you have, you know, they've really built up something cool. Like I would argue that 1 was great, 2 was better, and then 3, it's like...
Yeah, Dracula was the obvious
You have like this weird like German party boy Dracula.
Blade, ready to die.
We
Yes,
really
Blade.
didn't get into enough in
Yeah, we
in this
didn't
trailer.
mess
We
with
kinda
him too
dodged
much.
that. But yeah, like I
like a
think
weird
that
romance cover
apparently
Dracula.
the story was supposed to be about that like vampire final solution where they're gonna like it was supposed to take place after they'd succeeded in that, and there were only a few humans left. And the studio was like, "That's too dark. Have them fight Dracula." Have him fight Party Boy Dracula.
Party Boy Dracula. Oh, Blade!
It's interesting that there was once a time where a studio told David Goyer, "No, that's too dark."
That's too dark. No, not anymore.
Not anymore.
Yeah, you can see David Goyer's fingerprints on this. And by the way, for Blade 1 and 2, it totally works. It's a dark R-rated vampire movie. I think that's why it worked, why he works well with Batman, and also why he doesn't work with Superman. Yeah.
And he works great. I think there are people he works with that like rein in his worst tendencies and then bring out the best in him. So Blade 1 and 2 are pretty solid. I guess, you know, Del Toro was like, no, I want that to look beautiful, not dark. And they complemented each other well. And then for the third one, Goyer was like, nah, I got this. And he did
Man, we touch on that in the trailer, but those behind-the-scenes stories are incredible.
Yeah.
Yes.
Some of the better ones I've ever heard. But yeah, I'm a Blade apologist. I love the first movie. I love the first 2, and I think that like, why is it only the tax evasion stuff that's keeping Wesley Snipes from being in more movies?
Yeah.
Right? I guess.
And he kind of has like a sort of a later era Nicolas Cage, but also kind of like his performances in these movies are like, what's appealing about them is like, I'm not sure if I think he knows what he's doing, because a lot of people might look at him and be like, is he trying to do that?
Yeah.
But it's so kind of odd and bizarre, and like I don't know. It's hard. That was the most appealing thing for me, was like, I don't know what Wesley Snipes is doing in these movies, but I like it.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Sure. Yeah.
It's super crazy. I sometimes I think he's like making fun of the fact that he is playing a day-walking vampire. It's I don't know.
Yeah, or he's like way too into it.
Or he's way too into it. Yeah,
That's the thing. The
exactly.
self-awareness question is true, because these guys kind of lose that grip on reality. Like Steven Seagal, I think, thinks he is under siege at all times.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Jean-Claude Van Damme has like a whole series about blurring that line. So these 80s guys, you do enough drugs and do enough kung fu, and I think that you forget where movies end and your life begins.
Yeah.
Let's watch a movie, an honest trailer of one at least. Blade Trilogy.
Now we're gonna watch all 3 in their entirety, right?
Yes.
Sit back.
Settle in. It's done in conjunction with Black Panther.
Yes.
In a time when Marvel movies were direct-to-video flops, unreleased cult films, or whatever Howard the Duck was,
A masterpiece.
Resist your intense animal magnetism.
Oy, 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 oy.
the best and worst of Marvel were on full display in the Blade Trilogy. Quench your thirst with 3 movies of wildly different quality that at their best could make B-list stars look cool, and at
Pause.
their worst.
We debated how to describe Steven Dorff.
Yeah.
We had a real
What was
Dorff
the first
debate.
draft? It was
It was like
idiots.
dumbasses. It was like really mean. And we're like, do we
Yeah.
hate Steve? I think it was just like terrible actors look great or something.
Yeah, and then we
Yeah.
had to be like,
Is he a terrible actor?
And then we did a deep dive into Stephen Dorff's IMDb.
Yeah.
And found out that either he's not a good actor or he just hasn't been given the chance to shine, because he's in
Yeah.
a lot of movies that none of us had ever heard of.
Yeah.
And we see a lot of movies.
I just remember he was the first person I ever saw endorse. It wasn't called that at the time. Vaping. Like he
What was it called?
Blue. The blue cigarette.
Oh,
which
yeah.
was Stephen Dorff was like the first celebrity
Vapor.
vapor that I remember. He
Ground
was
floor, man.
Yeah, ground floor. He was in on. He knew what was going on.
Oh, Dorff vapes.
yeah, oh yeah. He needs a career renaissance like Skeet Ulrich got on Riverdale. Like he needs a good CW show to land on.
Oh yeah, okay. I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
I'm not a Riverdale guy, but
Skeet's good on that.
well,
Yeah.
deep dive on Dorff. That's why you're watching this
Deep
show.
Dorff dive.
All
Deep
right,
Dorff dive.
Keep going.
Stars look cool, and at their worst, make A-list actors look ridiculous.
That's just rude.
All thanks to directors that range from the unknown to the
guy never
legendary
did anything
to
else.
the Poochie of comic book movies.
Darkcore, trip hop, whatever kids are listening to these days.
Pause.
All right, pause.
We have
Let's
to explain
explain.
the Simpsons references,
Yeah.
the Poochie episode, which I hope is still relevant, or at least people use
Always.
as a reference, which was a studio mandating that Itchy and Scratchy add a new character, Poochie, who like needed to have, he was just a living studio note. He needed to have attitude, he needed to rap, he needed to be a surfer, he needed to like be all these nebulous things.
Cool things.
And I do think that David Goyer is just like, what are the kids like? Like, what's cool? Like,
What's dark?
He starts with like, what will people think is cool? And then it works backwards to a 16-year-old's brain from there.
Well, and I also think that he is analogous to Poochie as well, because in the same episode, I believe it's when they're trying to come up with the dog's name, and the executive is just like goes to his writers and he's like, "We need a name for a character, like a dog with attitude, like Poochie, but different." And he leaves the room, and everyone goes like, "Poochie okay with everyone else?" Like, yeah. All right, let's order lunch. And I feel like that's what every superhero genre has done since Blade. It's like the executive's just like, "We need somebody like David S. Goyer that's going to bring an attitude to this. Like someone like David S. Goyer," and he leaves. Everyone just goes like, "David S.
David
Goyer,
S.
okay,
Goyer,
everyone?
Goyer?
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah, let's order
He's
lunch."
really had his hands on everything.
Yeah.
He's more so than J.J. Abrams, more so than Joss Whedon. There's like the Goyer streak that runs through comic book movies from
Blade,
the 90s to today.
Ghost Rider,
Iron Man.
Batman, Superman. It is insane when you look at the number of properties that the guy
Yeah.
has touched.
We did another deep dive on Goyer. So
Goyer dive.
now you know. Let's keep going.
Kids are listening to these days.
In 3
Dark core
R-rated
trip hop.
black-led superhero films that the press just kind of forgot existed. Okay, look, it's fine you don't remember Meteor Man, but there were 3 of these.
Pause, because I know
Wesley
there's going to
Snipes.
be some actually saying that Meteor Man was not a Marvel comic book hero. He was.
Well, there you go.
They released a 6-issue Marvel run of Meteor Man, so he does indeed count as.
Well, there's a sliding scale of getting it wrong, because some outlets are just like the first black person in a movie. Like they're just so far
Exactly.
off.
They're so
Like, they
far
did
off.
not research this at all. And yes, we are. Look, it's a little bit of a stretch to say, but we are going to ride that technicality to the bank that there was a Meteor Man Marvel comic book. So
Yeah.
there you go.
Well, but there's also people saying like for the first time there's a black led superhero movie. Like that's objectively not true. That's not even to mention Spawn, which is also
Yep.
and Steel.
Of course.
So
Who can
yeah,
forget?
people forget because it was in the 90s, I guess. And then but Blade,
Blade
like
was
we
the
said,
be-
there's
there's
3 of them.
They
There's
made-
3.
It's so good. They made a trilogy.
And it's also the Deadpool thing, like there were so many think pieces we linked to one. When Deadpool was coming, it was like, can an R-rated superhero movie find success? Like,
Yeah.
yeah. First, Watchmen was an R-rated movie, a superhero movie, as was Blade, and it
3
did find
Blade,
success. There were 3 of them.
And not only, I mean, like, I'll let you forget Spawn and Steel because Steel was terrible and did poorly. Spawn was terrible and
Spawn was so good, people weren't ready for it.
yeah, they weren't
right.
prepared and they were too afraid to go to the theater and experience a movie that solid.
Yeah.
Spawn was so good, people were scared of going
It was
to
like
see
reverse word of mouth. Like people came back so changed that they
Yeah.
didn't want to also have to go see Spawn.
Did you see Spawn?
Just no words. But the story around can a black-led superhero movie work or can an R-rated superhero movie work should have been it worked so well that Blade is why they got to do X-Men, which is why they got to do Iron
Spider-Man,
Man. It
Iron Man, yeah.
worked so well, and everybody just kind of forgot.
Yeah, Blade was the first successful Marvel movie. Like,
I guess so.
It was. Howard the Duck. If you want to talk theatrically released, it was Howard the Duck.
Like 8 Punishers.
Blade. Like as far as like theatrical, it was Howard the Duck, Blade, and the Captain America was on video. It got overseas. Punisher was on video. There's Corman's Fantastic Four, but it was like Blade was the thing that came before X-Men, came before Spider-Man, came before it was Blade.
And there will also be someone in the comments that's like Punisher Warzone or Punisher Fight Van or Punisher Punch Guns or whatever.
Punisher Punch Guns. It's a really underrated entry.
But none of them did very well, and they're this guy with the swords and the one-liners.
Successful all around.
I think now a big part of it is like when people say Marvel, they only refer to the MCU, and it's like there's more.
10 years worth of movies.
10 years, and also last year, like Logan was Marvel. People think Marvel is only confined to like Disney. It's like no, that's all Marvel.
Yeah.
So whatever.
Yeah. All right. Let's keep going.
Fine you don't remember Meteor Man, but there were 3 of these. Meet Wesley Snipes, a badass, never-aging samurai, who in these films goes by the name Blade.
I was born ready, motherfucker.
That's my favorite line read in
With
any of the
superior
movies.
levels of melanin,
He can withstand sunlight.
a signature style, and whatever one-liners Wesley Snipes had in his head at the time.
Get you later. You tell him it's open season on all suckheads. Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
They sure are, Wesley. They sure... Wait, what?
Pause. Trying to ice skate uphill, the way I think of it,
You have to really unpack
that
it.
they're trying. What does it mean? I mean,
It's
they're trying to do
difficult.
difficult things.
Yeah. Why? Well, it's like
I had it and it left. What does it mean, Joe?
it's like for one thing, like why would you do that?
Right.
Why would you go out of your way to do something that difficult?
Right.
You had to put on the skates. You had to find an uphill icy slick.
Yes.
You went out of your way to do all this impossible shit. Now you're falling on your ass trying to ice skate uphill.
Yeah.
Some motherfuckers always trying to ice skate
But
uphill.
given the context of where it plays in the film, is after he kills like a super vampire who is like very much not. When I think ice skate uphill, I think clumsy. I think like wasted work. It's like inefficient. You know, it's like the wrong tool for the job.
I took it as a lesson in hubris. I felt like he was saying, listen, you could have just been a vampire.
Yeah.
You could have just lived underground and done your vampire thing.
Run
And then
alongside subway trains.
do whatever you do. You and I would probably never have crossed paths. However,
You had to open that vampire.
you had
Bible.
to try to ice skate uphill and become the vampire god, and now you have a
To me, that's
syringe in
like,
your head.
The sentiment for that would have been like some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate in public or like ice skate where they don't belong, you know?
Yeah.
But this was uphill. It's just like it's a thing that ice skates weren't designed to do.
And the vampires weren't designed to open portals and become
it.
living
Okay.
But wait,
vampires. I don't know.
where is it that you're not supposed to ice skate?
You know,
Like in a forbidden ring?
funerals. Yeah.
Probably not appropriate.
Probably inappropriate.
I think it speaks to how highly Blade thinks of himself.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I hope we had arrived at a greater understanding of that.
Yeah.
Let's keep watching.
Sure. Wait, what? Enter a centuries-long war against the most pathetic vampire since Twilight, who burst into flames at the slightest touch of silver, garlic, or sunlight. Practice an ancient one-at-a-time fighting style. Only have one master plan.
Blade's blood is the key. We're going to harvest your blood.
What is this place? It's a blood farming facility.
Can't really speak through their fans.
We really missed an opportunity to put in the Garth Marenghi Dark Place clip again, which we did for one other Honest trailer. I can't remember what it was, but blood. Lots of blood. Sticky blood. Blood.
And bits of sick.
And bits of sick.
I don't think we ever put that in an honest
We did?
trailer.
We
No,
put it
not
in a.
the-
I put it in a in like a Stephen King video.
Oh yeah.
I snuck it into one.
All right. Well, watch Garth Marenghi's Dark Place. if you
It's
haven't.
one of the best shows ever made.
Facility.
Can't really speak through their fangs.
You've done the Lord's work.
Yes.
And name everything by slapping the word vampire in front of a noun.
Good catch, Dan.
Thank you.
Vampire cattle brand. Vampire mark. Vampire Bible.
Vampire ranks.
Vampire nation. Vampire glyphs.
Vampire Cabana Boy.
Vampire vibrators.
Vampire race.
Vampire chain of command. The vampire gene.
You made a goddamn vampire Pomeranian?
That's not just lazy. That's vampire lazy.
Oh.
thrill at an action franchise with a unique look that it abandoned to look as much like The Matrix as possible. Full of early 2000s club raves, leather trench coats, and CGI that was looking so rough they bailed on it before the final cut.
Are we having fun yet, Blade? I sure hope so.
Oh boy.
Good call.
Good change.
So relive the
What they had
groundbreaking
wasn't
superhero
great.
trilogy with more first than you can shake a steak at, like Marvel's first movie franchise, the first black superhero movie franchise, Ryan Reynolds' first smartass comic book role, the first Marvel hallway fight scene, the first Marvel franchise to have a solid origin story, an even better sequel. Then go off the rails in the third one, and the first franchise to include the phrase juggling thunder.
You juggling thunder.
Fun fact,
Yeah, I'm
John
gonna-
wouldn't say that because his kids were in the room when he was recording it. So
Yeah.
I think he said, oh God, what did he say? Cop.
It had to be a CKCT
Yeah, what did
word,
he
like
say?
cook juggling.
It was Cook, yeah.
cook juggling thunder
Cart.
can't
Cart. Can't. So-
cook juggling thunder can't.
Yeah.
I think that's
Which
the,
I hope was the TV.
That's the
edit.
TV edit. I hope. Yeah. Yeah. First one. By the way, when it says first franchise, that means more than one movie. And I'm just like, oh, you just said that you acknowledged like franchise, more than one movie, franchise.
Right.
People, not movie, franchise. There's
Yeah.
a difference. Franchise, more than one movie.
Thank you, Dan.
I just anticipating, perhaps.
That's what this show's for.
Yep.
Juggling thunder.
You juggling thunder.
Yeah, I'm gonna bet that's one record that won't be broken. Looking to you, Deadpool 2. Starring White Men Can't Slay, Suck Dynasty, Vampire Weekend. Daryl, what are you doing here? Frat Pool, Where's His Busy Bee? Hellboys to Men.
For the four
I've
Best
got
in Show
two
fans.
character-appropriate words for you.
Joe had to.
BLB Driver, Techno.
All movies like this.
Vampires throwing children at play and then running away.
It's just the weirdest running motif of vampire planning.
Every time.
Is that a Goyer thing?
I don't know. I guess.
Hot
Does anyone
topic.
throw a baby at Man of Steel?
vampire merchandise.
No, he doesn't save anyone.
Look around. We might have it.
He just lets the baby
What he
fall.
slew in the shadows.
That was a late version.
Nice try, Luther.
For everything awful about Blade Trinity, it still gave us some of the best behind-the-scenes stories of all time.
We were in Vancouver, and Wesley Snipes was going crazy. He would only answer to the name Blade. He would communicate with Post-its that he would give to the director, and each one he would sign
Love
Blade.
Pete Holmes' face.
Pete Holmes.
Yeah.
Go Pete Holmes.
Good reaction
Old
face.
Pete Holmes.
Yeah, and that showed Crashing's really good too.
Let's see it.
Yeah. Anyway.
He did some good sketches. X-Men sketches.
Yeah.
Pete Holmes back.
Yeah.
I think that was the same show that
And
Patton
Batman.
Oswalt. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, good stuff. Real
well,
good stuff.
Let's watch some deleted scenes from the old Blade trilogy.
Starring
Just start.
Wesley the Vampire Slayer, Always Bite on Black, Dayman, Dan Nugent, A Human Vape Pen,
Oh, the
Dwarf
vape
Tossing,
connection.
Yeah.
Deadpool 1.0, Best in Movie, The Pearl Man, Norman Bleedus, Buffy the Vampire Slayer,
That's a stretch.
Yeah, it's a,
The Blade Tricks,
Okay.
Van Wesley, Bra Stoker's Dracula,
that's pretty
I like
good.
that.
Night of the Raving Dead,
Sure. That's zombie.
Blade, Bubby. Love that you're getting rid of all the vampires, but we gotta work on that wording when you're talking about a genocide.
Vampire Final Solution.
Would I go to a blood rave? I mean, it's wrong, but it looks like super fun, right? I mean, sick party, but you don't know where all that blood's been, or if it'll even wash out of my pleather shirt. Ah, screw it, I'm in.
How'd they get that into the sprinkler system? You'd have
It's
to
a very-
tap into the pipes.
The
They must,
vampire pipes.
The
well,
vampire
vampire
pipes.
pipes. But I'll bet that they had to water that blood down because blood would get sticky, it
Coagulate,
would
yeah.
coagulate, congeal. You gotta. I'll bet they were thinning that blood pretty heavily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I posed the question: would you go to a blood rave if you knew you wouldn't be found out?
No, I don't know. No.
I mean, maybe just once for the story.
Yeah, exactly. You
Yeah.
gotta just check it out.
Yeah. Yeah. Also, really good opening sequence in that movie.
So good.
Yeah,
It
that
gets
guy
off to
slowly
such a good
realized.
start.
Yeah, it's just this random frat guy realizing that he
This
is not in
the
a good
rave
place.
you were looking for.
Yeah, it's just. Uh-oh.
Oh no.
I've been sold out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll go with Blood Rave.
Blade comes in and just like kills a bunch of vampires.
Yep.
That's how you
That's
could
what the
describe
script
most of the
says.
script.
That's what the script says. It's an interior
kicks
blood rave.
so
Blade
much
comes
ass.
in
Yeah.
and kills a bunch of vampires.
Yeah, so many times it's just like room full of vampires. Blade comes in, says something, kills everyone. Repeat.
That's how you directed Wesley Snipes. Like, all right, Wesley, you're gonna walk in, you're gonna say something, and you're gonna kill a bunch of these
Kill
vampires.
a bunch of vampires. What am I gonna say? You'll figure it out.
Figure it out.
It seems to me that the only thing keeping Blade from ultimately winning the war is that the vampires are a secret. Because let the secret out, and anyone can kill a vampire because they're so easy to kill in these movies.
Oh, yeah, just like throw a clove of garlic at
Yeah,
them.
ha! And, like, I just had to go to Trader Joe's that morning, and I can kill
You're right.
so many vampires.
You really should have just publicized it. Be like, PSA, guys.
Yeah.
Really anything will kill them. So be on the lookout.
Yeah.
A stern look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The finger cross.
Yeah.
That probably would have done it.
Solid crack about their parents.
Yeah.
Anything turns
Ice
them
skating
into ash.
advice.
Yeah, ice skating advice. Jeez, yeah.
Well, I want to see the Blade Twilight crossover. I want to bring it back.
That's one of the all-time great memes.
An all-time great meme, and I like two of these three movies a lot. So this wasn't easy to do because
I like three of these three movies a lot. It's not a good movie.
No,
but I will always watch it because
you like Triple H.
Yeah,
you like watching him vampire wrestle.
Yeah, I like watching Triple H vampire wrestle in his super cool polo. That was just the epitome of vampire cool. All the other vampires are walking around in like dusters and like pleather outfits, and he's like, "Hey, here's my polo and my fanny pack. Yeah, I'm a vampire."
Yeah, it's awesome.
It's not a good movie.
It's fun.
But Jessica Biel has a laser bow and arrow.
She does,
and she like tricks vampires into like. There's another dead baby fake out in this movie when she goes in the subway.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
She has a baby that's spray. It says "fuck you" or something, or like "suck my baby."
She really
dick
turns
on
turns the tables
yeah.
on the
something
old,
really like intense that David Goyer wrote.
Yeah,
Goyer
the
was
day
like,
of. Like, you just said something badass is written on the baby, David. What's it gonna be? Suck this.
Whatever. Can we add it later?
Anyways, that's Blade. We'll be
Doing
back
coke
next
with the
week.
Chemical Brothers.
What are we gonna do next week? I think it's gonna be something
superhero
that will
themed.
It will unite some heroes all under one roof finally.
Yeah, I think we will be united in our opinion.
I think we will.
It.
Tune in next week to see how many punches we pulled or didn't in our honest trailer for the film we've been referencing.
Come together next week.
Come together.
We take on.
Booyah! We'll see you next week.